So now we're recording, and I can formally welcome you this Saturday morning. What else would you want to do now on a Saturday morning? Only a credit management diploma revision. The question is, life does not get any better than this. Just that you know. So what we want to do today is, as I said to you earlier, just in terms of eliminating all the surprises. That's really what I want to do. So the two things that we're going to focus on is this morning and then obviously next Saturday, which is the exam day. So in terms of today, I'm doing my little introduction and hopefully give you some pointers to get the best out of the exam and how to approach the exam and what to expect next week. Then I will be handing over to Katrina, who is here, and she will talk to you about the collections module. So she'll go through the mock paper just to give you an idea of what is expected. So you can check and see how you performed in relation to the expected answers. And then we'll take a break until 11:15. And then Paul Daly will be joining us, and he is going to be doing the international subject until about 12 o'clock, and then the law subject. So if you're doing collection, well, everybody's doing collections, that's fine. So you're here till 11. We'll take a break. If you're doing international, you have a 15-minute break and you come back and finish the international. So you'll be done at 12 o'clock. If you're doing law, you have a break until 12 o'clock, and then you come back and do the law revision with Paul. And then we should wrap it up by about 1:45. So that is that. And anybody who can't make it today, as I said, we'll send the links of the recordings to them. So that is that. And if there are any questions, and look, if you don't want to be asking questions, feel free to email us at any time, because look, we know in the last week, sometimes panic sets in. So from that perspective, we can respond to panic. The tutors are here. I am here. So any questions, queries, or whatever you have, please, suffering in silence is not an option. Just ask the question. And as I say, there's no such thing as stupid questions. If it's something that's on your mind, say it, and we'll deal with it. So that is what it's all about. So that is today. And then what we'll also do today, as well as go through the model answers on the mock paper, the tutors will kindly give you sorry, there's Molly back in again. I'll just hit that there. So what we'll also do is give you some pointers for the exam. So rather than spending hours on stuff, and the way the exams are structured, we just go into and the tutors will go through the exam structure with you. So effectively, you won't get 4 questions on one module. All right. So there will be questions on each module. So we'll sort of select down what, and you can pick the modules that you like or that you find easiest. And that's really the way. An exam is about getting the maximum amount of marks. So that's really what it's all about. So in terms of what's going to happen next week, so there's no Zoom call next week. So you're on your own. That is that. And what I will do is the first exam, which is the International Credit Management exam or the law exam, that starts at 10 o'clock next Saturday morning. And what I will do is at 10 to 10, I will send you the paper. All right. So it just gives you 10 minutes to open it, to read it, to relax and to get started. So at 10 to 10 next Saturday morning, you will get either the international paper or the law paper. All right. What I would ask you to do, and I'll ask you again on the email I send you, and I'm just reminding you now, I ask you just to acknowledge receipt. Is that okay? So it just has to be got it or thanks or whatever, because I'm sending out these emails to multiple recipients, and it just helps me to relax because we're kind of on trial here too. So it just helps me to relax to know that you have it and you're starting. Now look, if the nerves get to you and you forget to reply, you won't be penalized in any way, just that you know. And obviously when you send back the paper, then I know you got it. But just in case something goes awry. So if, 5 to 10 next week comes and there's still no sign of the paper, please email me or ring me or whatever. That is fine. Is that okay? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. So now, so that is next week. So depending on the paper, so if you are getting the law paper, and you've seen the mock paper, so you know what the paper looks like. So it's just one paper, and you have to answer the questions and return your paper. So you just email it back to me, and that has to be in before 12 noon. So that is the time limit on it. If you are doing law, the structure of the law exam is the same as the collections exam. So if you're doing the law paper at 10 to 10, you will get the multiple choice questions. And for collections, you will get the multiple choice questions at 10 to 1. So we go from 10 to 12, take a break for an hour, then we're back at 10 to 1, and I will send you the multiple choice questions. So that's 50 questions, and you have 1 hour to answer those questions and get them back. All right. So that is that. And then when you send back your multiple choice questions, I will then send you the long questions, both for law and for collections. So I suppose your prize in getting your answers back early means that you have more time then to do the long questions. Is that okay? So if you finish your multiple choice questions, say in 45 minutes, you send your multiple choice questions to me. I will be sitting at the desk and I will reply to your email and attach the long questions and let you keep going. So that is how it works. Now, look, sometimes I get 5 together and it might take me a minute or two. It mightn't be instant. Are you with me? So I'm sitting at the desk. So, but certainly within 3 or 4 minutes of sending it, you should have the long paper then to get cracking on. So that is how it works. Now, couple of pointers for you. Number one is when it comes to time management, and time management is of the essence. So, for example, on the international paper, there are section A, which is 10 small questions, and then section B, which is the long questions. You have to answer 3 of the long questions and all 10 of the short questions. All right. Now, when you look at the paper, you will see that all 4 questions carry 25 marks. Now, so if it's 25 marks per question and you have 2 hours, then allocate 30 minutes to each question. All right. So that means for the 10 questions in section A on the international paper, you have 3 minutes. So we don't expect you to write a novel in 3 minutes. All right. We know you have 3 minutes to answer the questions. So it's a couple of lines to demonstrate your understanding of the concepts. Is that okay? Because that's really what we're checking here, to make sure that you know and understand what's going on. So you have 3 minutes. Where people get into trouble is if you spend 5 minutes on each of the 10 questions, that's 50 minutes gone. So now you have only, a shorter time then to do the other questions. And then you find yourself under pressure, and what we want to do is eliminate all that pressure. So it's 3 minutes for each question after 30 minutes. And what I would advise you to do is, even if you make a mess of your time management and you find my half hour is up and I would set an alarm on my phone for half an hour, just stop and go on to the next question, give that half an hour, move on to the next question, give that half an hour, move on to the next question. And then if you have time at the end, go back and fill in the gaps. So at least by attempting the more questions, you have access to the most marks. So that is the important part. So make sure that you do that. And obviously on the multiple choice questions, it's 50 questions in an hour, which is just literally a minute per question. Now, you might be sitting there and thinking, but Dec, it's an open book exam. I'm on my own. I'm in my office. What's stopping me having the notes in front of me? And the answer to that is absolutely nothing. Of course, you'll have the notes in front of you. We're not stupid. And it'd be wrong not to have the notes in front of you. The whole thing about it is, guys, if you are relying on notes, your stress levels will go through the roof. All right, because there is no way you are going to go through the notes, find the section, get the answer, and type in the answer, particularly for the short questions, with 1 minute. So you are not going to do that. So you do have to have a certain amount of knowledge. So what I would do is, in terms of the short questions, just go through each question, answer the ones that you know, and maybe skip over the ones that you don't know, and then go back and check them depending on the time that's available. Yeah. So, and look, if you have 10 minutes and you want to check something in the notes, that is allowed. Please do not rely on the notes for the answers. It just doesn't work. So, and we know that from experience. So it is testing the knowledge that you have. So that is the short questions, and then you get them back within the hour, and then you get the long questions. Get the long questions, read the long questions, find the one that you think is easiest. Okay, always start with the easiest one, because that will build your confidence. All right. And even if you look at the paper and you get a mental block altogether, just say, okay, forget it. Which of these questions is the easiest? Which do I know a bit that I can write something about? And if you start with the easiest and get into the flow, then that'll start building your confidence, and it starts to come back to you then at that stage. So just remember time management, start with the easiest, then move on to the next easiest, and all the rest. The other advice I would give, and for you who haven't done exams before, and I know this sounds blindingly obvious, and I apologize, read the question. Yeah, read the question. I tell a story because I'll never forget it. It was one of the worst ever, and it was in the credit management paper. So yeah, that's next term. It was the credit management paper, and we thought it was a very fair question. And the question was very simply, please list the benefits of having a credit policy. All right. And I got the job of correcting the exam. And this student wrote the most fantastic stuff on credit policy. They told me everything about a credit policy, what it was, what it does, what it should contain. And it was just the most knowledgeable body of knowledge I have ever seen. And I was so impressed. The problem was they didn't give me a single benefit. And I go, please give me a benefit so I can give you a mark. Do you understand where I'm coming from here? So they probably thought, oh, that was easy. I know everything about credit policies, and I wrote loads and I got an A there. And they couldn't. So read the question, just make sure that you know what we're looking for, and then answer the question that's asked. And there's no trick questions. We're not here to trick you. If we ask for benefits, give us benefits. If we ask you to, explain something, then explain it. Just look at, probably the verb is the thing to look at. That will give you a clue in terms of what we are looking for. Now, the other thing as well, the tutors who will be correcting the papers are very familiar with the notes. They've been working on them for a large number of years, and they probably know the notes fairly much by heart. So if you decide that you are going to copy and paste a whole section of notes to answer a question, we will know that. This is not a copy and paste exam, and please avoid copy and pasting. So, do it in your own words, and hopefully we have framed the questions in the exams cleverly enough that, you know, so what we want you to demonstrate here is your knowledge and understanding. That's the whole point of the exam. It's your knowledge and understanding. And if that comes across in the exam, then you will get the marks. If you just copy and paste pages and pop them into your answers, you will not get marks. Okay, so it's that simple, just that you're aware of that as well. So that is the exam. So next week, 10 to 10, you get your first paper, you're finished by 12. Then at 10 to 1, you get your collections multiple choice, get that back by 2 o'clock, and then you'll get your long questions, get them back at 3, and then you're done. Go and enjoy the weekend. No post-morteming, no, oh, I should have done this, I could have done that, I could have done. No, once the exam is over, it's over. You've done your best, okay? Forget it. Just put it out of your head, go and enjoy the weekend. And what we will then do is the tutors will mark the papers. Then they go to an exam board for invigilation to make sure that we're doing our jobs correctly and that the marks are fair and all that kinds of stuff. And I'm hoping within about 2 weeks after the exam, I will then email you your official results letter that will say, and the results letter is there's 3 possible outcomes. The possible outcome is if you get above 80%, you'll have a distinction. If you get above 60%, you have a merit. And if you get above 40%, you have a pass. All right. Failure is not an option. All right. So that is that. So that is all I think you need to know about the exams. The fact that you're here, and also just that you know as well, in terms of the marking structure, you have already got up to 10% of the marks for your short tests. You have got up to an additional 20% for the assignments. And then the exam is marked out of the 70%. So if you've got, 8 out of 10 in your short tests, that's 8 marks that are in the bag. If you've got 18 out of 20 for your assignments, that's 26 marks in the bag. And then if you get, now you do need to pass the exam, so you need to get 28 out of 70. And if you get that, then that's added to your other marks to give you your overall grade. So the 3 are put together and you get the overall grade. So look, it is doable. And even in the exam, if you make a mess of one question, it probably doesn't matter, because with the short test, the assignments and the 2 or 3 good questions you've done, you're probably thereabouts, and all you need is 40%. So that's less than half when you think about it. Are you with me? And the way the paper is structured, it's from each module. So if you have 1 or 2 modules that like and are comfortable with, this is very doable. Okay. Now, look, if anything happens, because the real world does catch up with us all, we will work with you. We will make arrangements. And if you say, well, what if I fail? If you fail, you just have an absolute nightmare and your brain goes to jelly. We can organize a resit for you. We'll do something. All right. So, let's put those thoughts out of your head completely. But if it all goes wrong or something major happens, come back and talk to us, and we're happy to work with you to make it work. Is that okay? Yeah. So what I'll do is I will stop the recording on this particular session.